Sir, a dragon egg has been sighted in the forest. The kingdom of men are already moving in on its position. This is our forest. This cannot be. Prepare the Vanguard! Hello there, my name's Mark, and this is my Dice Tales. I hope you enjoyed the intro at the beginning there, and hopefully that tells you what you're going to be seeing. It's a Kings of War Vanguard game, and this is man versus man. It is the Baselians versus the Brotherhood, and we are going to playing Capture the Dragon Egg, a scenario I've not played before. It's interesting because you both start at the same side of the table, and you're racing to a dragon egg in the centre on the other side of the table. And the mission is hold the dragon egg at the end of the game, which is potentially end of turn 5 or turn 6, or end the game prematurely by getting the dragon egg back to your deployment zone. So it's a little bit of a capture the flag type scenario. And sorry. Right, so let's get to it. He has brought Brotherhood. He has 2 knights and a wizardess. Very similar to my list. I have 2 mounted units. One of my mounted units is my wizard. So let's see how it goes. This is the board layout. So we're in a forested area next to a dragon mound. On the left of that purple dice dictating the turn is a little black splodge, which is a dragon egg. We're just deploying, and we both deploy, I think it's 9 inches in on the corners. And we've got that hill in the middle. So that hill can't be... Mounted units can't get on it because they generally don't have climb, so your men can get on it. Your knights and wizards and general humanoids can climb that rocky face and get on it. You can't see my men moving up there. They're sort of covered by the foliage and that hill and the angle of the camera. And this is me moving on the start of the first turn. My dictator and my wizard are charging and fatiguing, so that's a double move and a walk move, getting quite far up the table. He does similar with his knights. And I also do a few where I activate out of order, trying to make sure that I have the initiative on the next turn. Initiative works in that you spend, if you out of activation first, you go first next turn. Second turn we both roll really poorly on the power dice. You can see I think we both got 4. I have the decision to either lightning bolt his knights or charge his wizard, and I end up charging his wizard, as you can see us strapping on that hill there. My sergeant does the first wound, and the second grunt knocks it down, and it fails its inspiring tests. So the wizardess is killed without casting a single spell. We can then, everyone in the group can then reform, and we sort of form a shield wall, ready to tackle his grunt and his king, which is also on that hill. In retaliation, he's just attacked my wizard, and he's got a pound move, so he knocks me down, causes a wound, but the pound also knocks me down as well, which is going to cost me to stand back up again. Let's see if I can get my sister in to retaliate. Probably could have, but I would be losing my power dice. So instead I let him activate, and he brings his wizard in, his other knight in, which blocks off that rescue, unfortunately. More scrapping goes on that hill. It's quite a dramatic fight in the end. With lots going on, it ends up till turn 6, that fight going on. My sisterhood has just killed his other knight. He doesn't have anyone inspiring nearby. And that comes up at the end of the game. We think if he's going to do anything better, he would have had someone inspired near those knights, give them a bit more clout. My dictator ignores the egg at this point, and fatigues, moves around that foliage to get to the back of the knight, attacking my wizard, and fatigues to do a swing. He's got quite a heavy punch anyway, 4 dice, and he managed to take him out. And luckily fail his nerve test again. My wounded wizard, is coming to grab the egg. Don't really want the wizard having the egg because he's only got the 1 wound left, and he could potentially take him out and drop that egg in a position I don't want him to. With my fatigued dictator, I move him round to the egg. I really want him to pick up the egg because he's got more wounds. He can probably gallop that egg home if need be. And the fight is still going on that hill. I don't... As I say, it rages until turn 6. We have a turn 5 and roll for see if it continues, and it does continue, which is fairly critical. Manoeuvrings going on up there. I think he's just shot and wounded my sister. Crossbowman moves across to get a better line of sight next turn because they can't move and shoot. Prefer them having bows, to be honest. Crossbows are quite a liability. My sister's charged. Looks like he fatigued and hit me again. I don't know what killed it then. Do I shoot it? I can't have shot it because I would have been engaged. I think I must fatigue to hit him again, and then he shoots me and takes off the sister as well. I think I'm about to lose my 6th soldier. We both have 10-man lists, and 6 man would put you into panic. He's on 5 as well. There's a scrap on that hill. I think I'm now left with only 2 units on that hill, so is he. I've got my sergeant and veteran sergeant. He's got a warrior and his king unit. Turn 4. How's our power dice going? Let's move his archers up. Right, I have to abandon my idea of my dictator taking that egg because I need to get him into panic mode too, and my best unit to do that is my dictator, taking out one of those warrior gunners. Which he does, so now we're both going to be panicked going into turn 5. He's got 2 gunners, and I have both my mounted units. They're not engaged, they're the ones that need to make nerve tests, otherwise they're going to try and flee off their side of the board. Which I need to FAQ. Is it, because we're in a corner, does it mean both sides of the board, or does it mean our deployment zones? So I'm not in range to get off the board this turn, so it depends on me staying standing and holding an egg whether I win the game at this point. I know he's got his arquebus guy behind that tree. He's moved onto the hill and he's taking pot shots at me. I moved a little bit closer. I would win, but we roll and we do get a turn 6. And now it's down to him taking a sniper shot at the wizard again to try and knock him down. Which he does, but I've got lots of power now, so I can activate, remove the fatigue, stand up, force him an activation out of order, and move into my deployment zone, winning the game. I've also decapitated his king on the hill there, securing that, and my dictator just goes on round, chopping down any further gunmen. That was a game, very intense. Came down to some nerve tests and his sniper trying to take out my wizard in the end. Very exciting battle on that hill. So let's go into the photo review, really. So if you've seen my other games, my wizard previously has just been a mounted knight, unpainted. So these are the models that I've got to replace that. I'm going to end up going with a model in the middle, which I've modified. I've cut the blade off and raised that hand to give it a more spellcasting feel, where it's normally holding the saddle. And I quite like that as a priestess spellcaster. This is my opponent's. He told me it was based on Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time. Apparently they have the wizards in that world are all female, and they wear different coloured robes. The blue robe depicts adventuring, and more adventurous wizard types, where yellow robes are more supports and healers types. And then he's got his warriors. They're all carrying double-handed weapons, so that they have all got crushing strength. Someone on there has a flashing blade, which gives him +1 to hit. I think it might have been the wizard, to be honest. I'm not too sure. Then he's got some gunners at the back with arquebuses and 2 knights. This is my squad. So 3 grunts, 2 with spears, 2 with crossbows. The mounted wizard, a mounted dictator, a veteran sister, a veteran sergeant, and a sergeant. They're all giving me extra dice for my power pool. And the first turn, so you can see we moved onto that hill at the end of the first turn by double moving. And the rest of the forces generally go for the middle and the dragon egg. I think I mentioned that we couldn't get cavalry on that hill. It is a craggy face. This is the view from his side of the board. He has a similar tactic. He went onto the hill first, so I had to counter and go onto the hill as well. Though that was my plan all along, to be honest. Crossbowmen moving up, so I fatigued a lot of people to move them up in that first turn so they can do a double move and a walk. And then I can use a power dice to remove the fatigue so they're fresh next game. This is him at the end of phase 2, and his wizard is in a perilous position there, because I've got some grunts on the other side of that hill, ready to charge, going into turn 2, and I've been using power dice to activate out of turn, so I can do 2 activations in a row, so guaranteeing me having it initiative on the second turn. So on that second turn, as you saw in the time lapse, we took out the wizard on the hill and formed the shield wall. He retaliated on my wizard and on my crossbowman. 6 hits, and he blocked all 6. It was his main king unit, and he has a 4+ armor save without. I don't have crushing strength. That's almost just as good as my Brazilian Iron Resolve power. I know I have to spend power dice for mine, and I ignore crushing strength, but still, his guys are very, very tough. Real tin men. Dictator taking out his knight, and unfortunately no one in inspiring range. So as we did the after battle report, fortunately I had to can that. I did have a nice sort of selfie video of what we thought of the game and how we thought Kings of War, but the volume wasn't great, so I'll have to look into that. His archers moving up, his archers, his gunners. And me going for the egg. Holy Light! Iron Resolve doing very well for me for my sergeant on that hill. He was man of the match. It just felt like he was knocked down. He says, "You're not done yet, son. Rise and fight again." So that was quite a dramatic moment, and he did very well fighting again and staying in the game. This is the start of turn 5. I got buzz cuts by the dragon. I rolled a 5, needing a 6 for it to attack me, so very lucky shave there. And him shooting me, about to decapitate the king unit of the Brotherhood. And that's it, back round. So that was Mark's Dice Tales, Adventures in the Kings of War Vanguard. And I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the skit at the beginning. There's a skit at the end as well. And I hope to be doing more of them and learning a little bit of that animation, stop motion trade. The whole reason I started all this YouTube malarkey was to learn new things like that, to be honest. So I hope you like it and stick around for it. Tonight I'm going to be playing some Black Fortress at the Forge. At the weekend there's a Forge all day where I'll be taking my Gaslands. I could also take along my Vanguard and Kill Team, if anyone's interested in that and watching. And that is it. I think we'll end it there. Mark at Dice Tales, very enjoyable game. First game of Catch the Dragon Egg, which is kind of like this Catch the Flag scenario. And it was great. I'd love to do it again. It makes a change from the Portal, which you've been seeing a lot of. So, Mark from Dice Tales, signing off. Thank you. Good night. For Baselia!